Ripple just got something most people in crypto have been waiting years for, and almost nobody outside the industry noticed it happen. If you own XRP or you're thinking about buying it, stop scrolling right now, because what happened in the last 24 hours could completely change the next 6 months of this coin's story. Here's the headline everyone's missing. Ripple has just secured a full license from Luxembourg's financial regulator, the CSSF, under Europe's MiCA framework. That's not a small technicality. That single license now acts as a passport, letting Ripple legally offer regulated crypto services across all 30 countries in the European Economic Area, without applying country by country. Think about what that means. One approval, 30 markets, instantly unlocked. Banks, payment companies, and institutions across Europe can now work with Ripple without the regulatory fog that's been hanging over this space for years. This comes right after the MiCA transitional period officially ended on July 1st, which means every crypto company operating in Europe now has to play by these new rules. Most companies are scrambling. Ripple already has the golden ticket. Why does this matter for XRP specifically? Because XRP's entire long-term thesis has never really been about hype or memes. It's about becoming the backbone for fast, cheap, cross-border payments. Every time a regulator says yes, that thesis gets a little more real. And Europe just said yes in the biggest way possible. Now let's talk price, because the chart is telling its own dramatic story right now. XRP is trading right around $1.13 to 14 cents as of today, and here's the twist. It just jumped roughly 5 to 8% in a short window, breaking above resistance levels that had trapped it for weeks. Bitcoin also pushed back above $63,000, and XRP actually outpaced it during the move. That matters because when XRP leads Bitcoin higher instead of just following it, that's usually a sign of independent buying interest, not just market-wide relief. But, and this is important, this recovery is happening inside a much bigger, much scarier setup. XRP has been stuck in a falling channel for over a year now. The token is down roughly 70% from its cycle high near $3.65 just 12 months ago. That's a brutal number to sit with if you're holding. And there's a technical event forming right now that traders are watching closely, a potential death cross on the weekly chart, where the 20-week moving average is about to slip below the 200-week moving average. Historically, when this crossover has happened before, XRP has still found a bottom shortly after, not a continued collapse. Back in 2022, a similar cross formed almost exactly at the low before consolidation kicked in. So this pattern is genuinely a mixed signal, a warning sign and a potential bottom signal at the same time. Here's where it gets more interesting. While retail traders have been nervous and pulling back, the on-chain data is telling a completely different story. Daily active addresses on the XRP ledger have jumped over 70% in just 2 weeks. New wallet creation just hit a 3-month high, and exchange outflows have exploded. Roughly 123 million XRP pulled off exchanges recently, nearly triple the previous pace. When large amounts of a token move off exchanges, it usually means holders are choosing to sit on it rather than sell it. On top of that, XRP spot ETFs in the United States have now posted 8 straight weeks of positive inflows, with cumulative net inflows crossing $1.47 billion. That's real institutional money continuing to enter, even while the price has been weak. Big players are accumulating quietly while headlines focus on the dip. Not every part of this story is positive, though, and you deserve the full picture. Over in Brazil, the very first regulated spot XRP ETF has cratered 54% since launch. $1,000 put in at the start is now worth less than $500. That's a stark reminder that regulatory approval alone does not guarantee price performance. Adoption and real usage still have to follow. So where does that leave XRP right now, heading into the rest of July? On one side, a landmark European license that opens the door to 30 countries, surging network activity, record wallet creation, aggressive exchange withdrawals, and 8 consecutive weeks of ETF inflows. On the other side, a technical death cross forming, a brutal 70% drawdown from the highs, and a real-world example in Brazil, proving that ETFs alone won't save a token if broader demand doesn't show up. The key levels to watch this week are the $1 support zone on the downside and resistance sitting up near $1.18 to $1.22. A clean break above that zone could be the confirmation bulls have been waiting over a year for. Losing the $1 level again could open the door toward the 80 to 90 cent range that on-chain data suggests as the next real support. Either way, this is not a quiet month for XRP. Regulation is moving faster than the price chart, and that gap rarely stays open for long. Drop a comment telling me which way you think this breaks, and subscribe so you don't miss when it actually happens.